I know a lot of you out there, you like to listen to what some of these media people are talking about because you think that, you know, they're they're in tune with the hip and the now. And so they bear this knowledge that, continually keeps feeding you. And it stops you ultimately from thinking for yourself or, using deductive reasoning, questioning things that you should be questioning a lot of times rather than just going along with the status quo and saying, "Oh, well, hey, they got it right, so, I don't have to touch the rest of that now with a 10-foot pole." And the problem becomes that you've become dumbed down by the media system. You've, you know, allowed yourself to be programmed. And every day you're feeding yourself this programming. And whether it's the local news or the national news, or you're picking up a newspaper and you're reading all the little articles, and of course you get to the favorite section of the newspaper or the part of the news that you know you really like the most, which is generally the sports section. And it's no different than the other sections of the paper or the news. It's just that now you're dealing with sports, right? And everybody wants to be, you know, the sports aficionado. They want to be the guru. And so they talk in a way that makes them sound eloquent, and they have this long dramatic pause for effect. And then idiots go out, and idiots stand at the water cooler and they start spouting off what they hear, the media say. And then it becomes a debate back and forth. Well, one person in particular that I know of that is very good at doing this and manipulating your mind is BSPN, and I call them BSPN because it's the Bullshit Propaganda Network. And Stephen A. Smith. Now, we've all heard this guy, right? People live off of his words. They listen very, 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 very intently to what he has to say. And he talks about a wide variety of different various subjects. He talks about football, and he talks about baseball, and he talks about basketball. But mainly his two big focuses are football and basketball. Because that's what the show basically covers basketball and football, right? And so he'll get up on his little soapbox and he'll start, you know, ranting and raving and jumping around like a buffoon and spurting out these eloquent words and making himself look, all puffed up and big for the camera. And people will just sit there and they will just, you know, listen in amazement to what this guy has to say. Now, I've heard what he's had to say over many a subject, and I think to myself, man, I would love to get this chump in a debate, especially over football. Oh man, I would love to get this chump in a debate about football. I really would. I'd love to get him in a debate. I'd eat him alive. I'd rip him such a new one it wouldn't even be funny. Now I know there's a lot of people out there that would say, well, what do you know about football? You don't know nothing. He's educated and he works for ESPN. So, do you think that his education and working for ESPN frightens me? I'd walk in there with the very same game face that I have on right now. I'd stare him down. I'd give him enough rope to hang himself. And then I crucify him. Bad. Real bad. Because see, when I listen to this guy, all I see is a guy who talks out of his ass. And I've heard him talk out of his ass a lot of times, especially when it comes to football. He has definitely talked out of his ass. One of his all-time favorite subjects is, of course, my Dallas Cowboys. And any chance he can get to, take a swipe at, Cowboys fans or the Cowboys themselves, he'll seize the opportunity. He will seize that opportunity. Talking about how they're obnoxious, how they don't take time out to smell themselves. You know, and he's just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? And I look at that and I say, when was the last time you were out listening to fans of other teams? I mean, you talk about fan bases that don't stop to take the time to smell themselves. Oh, I can name several who do it without question in my mind. They do it because I've seen them do it. And what's funny is that they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to be that obnoxious, and they don't have to take the time out to smell themselves, right? But it's only the Cowboys that can't take the time out to stop and smell themselves, or don't need to smell themselves. I mean, you talk about a guy who's nothing more than a hypocrite and a fraud. I mean, I can't say enough bad negative things about this guy that you know it wouldn't get me kicked off of YouTube once and for all because I could certainly lace into him and really tell you what I really think of the guy. But of course, they would have none of that. So you have to put personal feelings aside. But anytime this chump wants to debate, anytime this chump wants to get crucified, call me up, Stephen A. Call me up. Matter of fact, give me your call in number. I'll call in. I'll crucify you right then and there. I'll crucify you on your podcast. I will crucify you on first take. I will crucify you on first take. I will crucify you on get up. I don't care where I have to crucify you, boy. I will crucify you. No, you don't fire the shot and think that there ain't gonna be no retaliation. No, this is a retaliatory strike. So anytime you got a set of cojones and you think they're big enough, let's do a debate. One on one. I'll gladly meet you any place, anytime, anywhere. is exposing you, especially to the world, to the point to where it gets so bad that they have to literally turn you off. Oh, I will have done my job. That is for sure. Because ultimately, that is my goal, to get you kicked off. Period. I don't care if you were a former basketball player. I don't care if you were, you know, tops in your class in college. I don't care if ESPN thinks you're the tops in programming. No, it's time to put this rabid dog down. And so, chump, come bring it. Better bring your A game though. Don't let no hair fool you. I'm not an easy win. And with that, folks, well, that's the end of it.